Yeah. Oh, completely. But I didn't know that at the time. So I didn't understand. So I felt very alone. I questioned myself relentlessly. Like, what did I do? I don't understand what happened. It was very panic fueled, if you will. And
Yeah.
there's not a lot of opportunity in the San Luis Obispo area, as I mentioned. And I had found this great career that I loved and that I was thriving at, and I was paid very, very well. I didn't, how was I going to replicate that? So I went searching. I looked and I did not see anything comparable that would light me up. And so I decided to start my own company. And that's what I did. And when I started my company, my boss's final parting gift to me at that time was to let me know that I would absolutely fail at this endeavor. And if I tried to contact anyone within the industry that I had all my connections, he would sue me. So I started my company in an entirely new industry in software sales, and I was successful. And because I was successful and my
Yeah.
boss had made such a big deal about how I would surely fail,
Yeah.
slowly, one by one, people began leaving the company and starting their own recruiting business as well.
Wow.
So I have to say it was a gift that he gave me because it pushed me to do something that who knows if I would have jumped, who knows what would have happened, but it forced me to um, count on myself and rely on myself and make something happen that I really wanted to see happen. And that taught me a lot.
It sounds like, you're somebody that's really worked hard their whole life. You really, done the right thing. You have good relationships. You want to be a recruiter because, everything about that, job description really appealed to you. And then you yourself in your own job get fired by this douchebag with no ethics, and that crushed you, because you are who you are, and that's just, I mean, it happens, but I could see why, certain people, be like, I've been fired before, but you were great at what you did. You did everything right, and you cared so much. I could tell how much you cared, and that makes you a great entrepreneur because now you're the HR and DNA that's inside you. When you operate your own company, when you hire somebody, you have a very empathetic bone in your body, right?
Absolutely. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. There's we sit and chat with our employees and make sure they're doing okay with everything. So,
Okay. So the fun part now is now I just would know more about you. Now, let's get into this personal development side of you because it's very dynamic and just listening to you talk, did such a great job. I want to get into when you first got involved in personal development, what specifically we talked about it in the pregame, what were some of the modalities that you used and some of the big aha moments, that changed your life, when you started getting into personal development.
so well, like I shared, I had a time where it was very low. It was a very low time in life. It was after the death of my father. There was a lot of things just falling apart. I'm sure many people have experienced when there is a very big death. It's like a bomb going off in your life. Everything's up in the air, turning and turning, and you don't know when it's going to land, whether it's days, months, or maybe even a year later. It colors everything. And I was dealing with a great deal of heartache and grief. And then in my family, there was a lot of very serious things happening, like serious suicidal type of depression, divorce, opioid abuse, Jerry Springer level blowouts. It was family business issues. It was just so many things happening. And it was just it was a low point in life. And I started to complain a lot, and the anxiety was growing. I actually started to have panic attacks. And there was this day, and I was having a conversation with friends and that I hadn't seen in a while, and it was like I started to float above myself, and I could see myself outside, myself for the first time, hearing me talk, and it was very much a, who are you right now? Who have you become? When did you become such a victim? When did you become so negative? And I realized that I had to do something to change, and I needed to look at some tools, and I was surrounded by things that I did not want, and I really needed to figure out what it was that I did want. And I found this, Mind Valley had this program for a life book, and I decided to do a deep dive into creating a life book and figure out what I want my life to look like in all its facets and all its fantasy, getting really clear on my goals, and really looking at my beliefs as well at every stage of this, right? Like, why, what do I believe about this? And why do I believe that? Where did that come from? And it really helped me start to take away a lot of these limiting beliefs and stories that either I had put on myself or other people had put on myself that I accepted. And it brought a lot of awareness. And that just started the journey forward.